Hello and welcome to the London Bulls Podcast and a happy 2025 to all of our listeners. Good to see you, my friend, for our first pod of the year. Did you have a good Christmas break?
Um, yes, and no. I'm sure we'll come on to why the no is a thing. But yeah, no, it was good, mate. It was quite nice, quite restful. Otherwise, how was yours? How did you get on?
Yeah, it was good, mate. We were talking about this the other day, but it's hard to believe the Christmas party was less than 4 weeks ago.
Mm.
And I'll be honest with you, it's not really sunk in. It was a really good night, really nice way to end the year. Um, did a bit of reflection over Christmas. I thought last year has been absolutely amazing, to be honest with you. And I'm really excited about what 2025 is going to bring for us. And the pod,
Mhm.
we've got some really exciting things happening.
Yeah, yeah, we've definitely got something exciting happening.
Something indeed.
Very very soon. We'll release details of that later in this podcast. But no, it's very exciting. The year to come, and yeah, no, you're right. I mean, everything that we've done in this last year, not just with the pod, but with the London Bulls, with the streams, with the Christmas party, with you know getting there's a few of us uh at Leamington on New Year's Day. So yeah, it was it's building, mate. It's very 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 good,
Do you know
exciting.
what 2025 is going to bring also, my friend? Is a promotion party. It's happening. I've called it. Come on.
Yeah, yeah, maybe.
Will
I
be
would have agreed with you a few weeks ago. That's
second party we'll be organising this summer is our promotion to the conference. I'm hoping, fingers crossed,
mm,
you can replay this clip in the summer, when we're up in the National League. My
be some.
predictions aren't always that far off, though, are they?
No,
I'm
no.
never not normally far off, but yeah, hopefully we'll be up there or thereabouts. Something I was also really impressed with, actually, in terms of news. I don't know if you saw this, but Sport Bible ranked Edgar Street the 47th best stadium in the country, believe it or not, above Southampton, Brentford, and Bolton. Above them. So I don't know if you've ever been to those grounds before, if anyone else has, but I was listening, but we have the 47th best ground in the stadium with only three stands. How unbelievable is that?
Yeah,
I'm just admiring it behind you, son. What an absolutely gorgeous ground we do have
it's an
there.
absolute beaut, mate. It's there's no wonder. I mean, I felt like we were robbed a little bit. I think we should be a little bit higher than that. I mean, I don't know where Oxford were, the other three-sided stadium in the country, but look, we've got amazing ground, amazing fans, and amazing pitch. Just look at it, beautiful.
Absolutely.
That's
Hopefully we
what's
can get a new stand there very soon, right?
Yeah, definitely for the promotion to the conference, as you say. Yeah,
Talking of promotion to the conference, we obviously have to win a load of games.
do.
And let's reflect on the games just before Christmas. Um, Obviously, we had the postman game with South Shields. I think
Yeah,
we need to go up, don't you?
yeah, definitely. Luckily, I could cancel the hotel, so that wasn't a total loss. But yeah, obviously we're planning to go up and leave first thing on Saturday and stay on that Saturday night. But yeah, it's obviously gutting that it wasn't on just for the laugh. But I think we've had a lot of games postponed. We talked about this before, and it is a problem because you've got to play these games at some point, and it just means having to play on Tuesday nights, especially somewhere away like say Shields. With, but then to be honest, the players, it's not quite as bad as it could be for them. Uh, as obviously it is for the fans, but it's still not great for anybody. So yeah, it's a little bit gutting. Just from that point of view. And now we've obviously a few players have gone as well. It's just disappointing because we didn't really get the most out of some of those players because they were either obviously postponed games or injured or um suspended. So yeah, it's just it's just a bit gutting. And you bring these players in, you can't even play them.
Do you think like playing long distance games on a Tuesday impacts our performance? Because I'm thinking of that Darlington game a few weeks ago, which was
Mm.
postponed and moved to that Tuesday night, and I think I can't remember what the score. I think we drew 1-1, didn't we? Or we
What to
lost 2.
Darlington?
Yeah, I can't actually
We
remember the
lost
score.
lost
Yeah,
two
we
one.
lost 2.
Yeah.
But do you think that impacts us and the players? We've got busy schedules.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you think about like we had Warrington on that Tuesday night, we lost 2-0. it's not a great Tuesday nights aren't great for us. And you
Mm.
do wonder, and there are others need a markets a Tuesday night at home, you know, that when the players have been working and then they've got to come to Hereford, they've got to go to the game. It is a lot. It's a lot as a fan if you think about even just going to a home game and you work in Hereford, it's still a lot to try and fit in. Um, and yeah, so I think it definitely does have an impact. I'm not, the players may not feel like that. Sometimes the other team's just better, but there is a bit of a theme going here, and that's the other disappointing side of it.
Yeah, and shout out to a lot of our fans actually who went back straight after Darlington and had work the next morning, got back silly o'clock at night,
Mm,
do so much traveling for the club and put so much effort in. I know a few fans actually on socials, a few of you may have seen this, that actually flew up to Newcastle hoping the South Shields game would be on, but sadly it was postponed. But they managed to meet Andy Farrell, which is really nice. He still, has really fond memories of the club, and hopefully we can get him on at some point on the pod because I can imagine he's got a few stories of his time with us. For some really good crackers for us, actually. I remember his goal against Port Vale in the second round of the FA Cup.
mm,
For what a man he is. But let's go back to Scunthorpe. 0-0 draw. What a great result that was, I thought.
hmm
Kind of reflect
Yeah,
my predictions, but I think we were generally happy with the point, weren't we?
yeah. We either predicted a, I think we might have predicted a draw when I think we predicted 1-1 actually, both of us, in the last pod. But I think that was almost wishful thinking, and the fact that we did get the draw is a really, really good result. Um, doesn't matter about Scunthorpe's form. They're a good side.
Mm.
They should be going up, but for some reason they just keep bottling it, and they've got to try and find a way of obviously sorting that out. Um, but no, I think 0-0, and we created chances. Huddy obviously hit the bar. There's one or two other saves the keeper had to make. Obviously, they had chances as well. Of course, they did, and bit of possession, but we more than held our own, in my opinion. I don't know how you felt. Obviously, you were there, but
Yes, from what I remember of the game, because our good friend Nick Jones amazingly got us discounted tickets up to Scunthorpe. So we made a bit of a London Bulls away day. Got some really cracking photos. A few of us went out. Really nice ground to go to. They seem very bruised, to be honest, compared to last season. They seem
mm,
very tired in this league. This league's really kind of, I think we've all got experience of that actually more. I'm feeling a bit tired of it. But the pitch just wasn't great. The players just seem a bit jaded compared to last season. They
yeah,
demolished us in both games. I thought it was our performance of the season, to be honest. I think we were really unlucky not to win it. You talked about Huddy almost scoring. He was really unlucky not to score. Really, really impressed with that performance. It's a very intimidating place to go. They almost had 4,000 fans there, really loud. I think they
mm,
had a higher attendance than six EFL games that day. So, we're talking
yeah,
about a really big club there.
mm,
But yeah, I thought they'd be running away with the league this season, but I think struggling in the playoffs. They're way off top.
mhm,
Kez and Ashton seem to be doing really well, don't they? With games they
mm,
have to. So yeah, really, really good performance. Really impressive with the guys.
mhm. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's interesting you talk about Scunthorpe at home, with the crowd and with the stadium. I mean, that's how it should be
Mm.
for us.
Yeah,
We've
yeah,
got a Football League stadium really, and Football League crowds obviously. And yeah, it's frustrating because I really want to make Edgar Street a fortress because it should be. People should be intimidated to come into play us,
mm.
and obviously, it's not quite worked out like that. We have had a few better results at home, um, not including Boxing Day, but yeah, you know, as you say, positive result, and it kept us at the time, kept us up in the playoffs. But I
Yeah,
suppose
yeah.
we probably should talk about Boxing Day a little bit. Uh,
Well, I know you went
yeah.
to the game, but were you able to see anything? Because I was watching on Dazzle and I just about saw the ball. To be honest.
Mm. Not not a great deal, mate, I'll be honest. Which is probably not a bad thing. But then I don't think the players could see each other either because obviously wearing white. And it was foggy, so that maybe is the reason why we couldn't find each other when we were trying to pass the ball. No, I mean, look, Kidderminster were very good.
Yeah,
There's no getting around that. But we we were bad, you know, and it was interesting when Callis came out afterwards and said how good Kiddy had been. He didn't really talk about how poor we were, or not enough anyway, which is fine. You could, if he's not going to call the players out, I don't mind. But it's just, there were lots of things where, to say, like our first touch was poor. Our passing was always just behind someone, just in front of someone where they didn't, needed to go to feet, or you know, or we'd shank the ball off, or you know what I mean. And it was just like we could never make any progress. We could never make any momentum. For probably the first, well, 20 minutes. We just didn't even we couldn't really get up the pitch that much, and it was difficult to watch because we're a better team than that. And I don't. We probably had the team eight that we would have wanted to have had eight. Um, and it just, yeah, but Kiddy again, Kiddy were good, so it's difficult when you come up against a side that is having a good day.
yeah, yeah. I'm just seeing people saying they're gonna win the title based on that performance. But to be honest, mate, they lost to Russell a few days later.
Mm,
1-0
they
at home.
did.
The league is mental, isn't it? Like,
Yeah,
it's so unpredictable. So, I don't know. Like, I'm quite disappointed, to be honest. I think we
yeah,
weren't good enough, obviously, as you said. I think people are focusing a lot on Kidderminster and how good they were, but I thought, as you said, we were rubbish. I agree with you.
yeah.
On another day, if Tay Campbell's effort goes in at 1-0 down and hit the crossbar, it could have been a totally different story.
Could
I
have.
reckon we could have actually held out for a point or even nicked something in the second half. You don't know.
Yeah,
Margins, isn't it? But maybe it's because the game was moved to 1 p.m. because of the floodlights. Who knows? Maybe that impacted the performance. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah,
yeah.
really disappointing. It's just, we always seem to kind of bottle it for our big crowds as well.
Mm,
People
mm,
talk about this when we get to that 4,000 number, we always seem to like never put in that performance that
yeah,
matches the crowd level. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah. I
yeah,
mean,
really,
yeah, you're right. When you got an attendance, was it 4,925, like, and 700 away fans, and people were singing. Kiddy weren't singing that much, but when they were, and it was a great atmosphere at that game. And the players have got to feel it, but is it pressure? But then this isn't the first season or the first manager that we've been talking about where this is happening.
mm,
It's happening when Geiling was here. It was happening when, um, Mike Richards was here. But and then Russell Slade. But then we were poor then anyway. The only person who seemed to have got it right really was Peter Beadle, but um, unless there was 20,000 of us, and then couldn't quite manage it. But at Wembley, but yeah, it is an odd thing, and I don't know what the problem is. I don't know if it's just that the other teams, it's their cup final because they're playing in front of, not so much for Kidderminster, but because they're playing in front of 4,000 people. It's like, right, let's go for it today. Not that they wouldn't have gone for it, but you know what I mean. It's like it's their big day out, isn't it?
yeah,
And they can ruin the party. And there's not a lot, from a manager's point of view, the motivation is very easy to give in that situation, I think. Go out there and ruin these people's day because it's what they've done.
yeah. They got a fantastic manager as well with Premier League pedigree. They got a lot of resource
Yeah,
behind
well, yeah,
them. So,
yeah,
Phil Brown doing really well there.
mm,
And two of their goals were absolute screamers. Well,
yeah,
so they'll probably be goal of the season contenders, to be honest with you.
hmm
So you
hmm
can't beat goals like that. Do you know what I mean? They're getting winning
yeah, yeah. I
goals.
mean that's right. Yeah, I mean that second goal obviously was a mistake, a bit mix up between Donaghy and the defender who it was at the time. Um, and like Obadiah chipped it over him. Great finish that was as well. But he never did that for us.
Where
He
was he?
never he would never chase the ball down for us. He never moved. He was all right player, but he wasn't that type of player. He wasn't a runner. He wasn't he was a good player, but just
Who,
yeah.
who do you think are better, Scunthorpe or Kiddy? Who do you reckon? Do you think either of them will win the title?
Very good question, actually. Um, I don't know. I think because it's difficult, isn't it? Because let's be honest about this. Kidderminster were below us for most of the season so far.
Yeah,
They didn't have a great start, but they never do. They either have a really good start and then they end up being mid-table, like they have in the past when they're in the conference, or or this league, or they have a shocking start and then end up doing all right and getting into the playoffs.
mm,
So, and it seems to be, it doesn't matter who the manager is there either. That seems to be the way they go about it. Um, I think Scunthorpe are probably a better side in terms of they've got more options because Phil Brown is doing a good job. That's Kiddy's option. So if it starts to go a little bit wrong, they're not going to get rid of Phil Brown. Whereas Scunthorpe, obviously, you know, weren't happy with their manager and and obviously the players. And so but look where they are in the league. Look where they were in the league
yeah,
and how tight the league still is, really. And yet they're calling for the manager's head. So, you know, I think it's just it is not saying that Phil Brown won't do a good job at Kiddy, but uh, yeah, but that's their option. That is it. That's their plan A, B, C, and D.
yeah,
Whereas Scunthorpe have got a lot more options, I feel.
yeah. We if you look at the teams in the top seven, we've actually got a decent record against them, mate.
Yeah, we do.
Apart from like Kidderminster game, like we genuinely are doing well against these teams that are expected to be fighting for the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like your
Mm,
Chorleys, your Kings Lynn's, Curzon Ashton, even we beat them.
mm,
So we,
yeah.
we are, we are playing well against these sides. We're not looking at a place or anything. I think it was just a bad day at the office, to be honest with you. Obviously, there's another bad day at the office, isn't there, with Leamington away, which we went to a few London Bulls, but we will go into that.
Pressing.
But what a dire game that was. That was absolutely dreadful.
Yeah. Well, we started off okay.
Yeah, we scored
Literally,
early.
we nearly scored pretty much straight away. Keeper made a good save. Yeah, and you talk about Tate Campbell's goal going in against Kiddy. Yeah, if that went in against Leamington after was it a minute, 2 minutes, I think that changes the game totally then
Mm,
because they've got to push on, going to create the gaps, and I think we'd have been all right. But yeah, we just looked. But then after that sort of 10 minutes, that was it really. But we just looked so lethargic. We did on Boxing Day. We looked like we'd had too much turkey, and it felt like that on New Year's Day, where we'd had too many turkey sandwiches and too many glasses of champagne bringing in the new year. I'm not questioning the players' professionalism, desire, because they're a good bunch of lads, and I'm really proud of what they've achieved so far this season. However, it was poor, and yeah, it just didn't seem like even when we had that penalty, it just didn't. Nothing felt like it was going to go right for us.
they are a bit of a bogey side, aren't they? Leamington away.
Yeah.
I mean, their pitch, it was very cold in it. It didn't look
Mm.
brilliant to play on. The ball was up in the air quite a bit as well. What an unbelievable goal from Jamie. Jamie Klein, our podcast man, who does amazing work. He scored an absolutely unbelievable finish from however far that was, like 30 yards or something. Um, but yeah, obviously I thought we missed Cisse, to be honest with you.
We
I really
definitely
thought,
did.
yeah, he was a big miss for us.
Mm. Yeah, it's having that outlet. Just again, we were talking about different plan A's, B's, C's, and D's. That was our problem. We only had one option really, and it wasn't working. And then we had nothing else to offer. And I felt like when we've lost games, that's been part of the reason this season has been because our plan A isn't working. So like even when Cisse plays, if he's up against a good right back like against Kiddy, then okay, he's going to struggle. That's fine. You can't be brilliant every game, but it seems like we don't have another option. Then we don't have anything else to do. And like on Boxing Day, Lawson Diaz tried the same thing as he did against Leamington when he scored against Kiddy, where he just decided to drive and hit the ball, and it got blocked against Kiddy, but it went in against Leamington.
Yeah,
But you need that sort of player,
yeah,
because sometimes Lawson can be a little bit, um, can lose his head a little bit, and just go in a little bit too late, a little bit too hard on people, but which is what gets him yellow cards. But I think you need it because, you know, yes, all right, you might lose the ball sometimes, but I don't think there's anyone in that team that fights harder to get that ball back. And I think we need players like him.
yeah, for sure, mate. Um, I was really good with the penalty miss as well. The
Yeah,
Jadon
well,
White, but I mean, I thought we would nick a point, and the table would look a lot different as well.
mm.
You hope this doesn't cost us at the end of the season, but I still think we'll go by the playoffs, mate. You know, we got a
Yeah,
long way to go. Do you know what I mean? There's still a lot of games left.
there is. I think, yeah, I know what you mean. I think if anything's going to cost us this season, it's those stupid games against Needham Market, Radcliffe, Peterborough Sports, where we just what the hell were we playing? Like, what were we doing? And that's the frustrating. But yes, okay, like Chorley away, we got battered, but we should have probably ended up winning it 2-1 in the end with Willow missing a penalty. And obviously getting the point against Leamington. All these things, but that's football. What ifs and maybes are what it's all about. And unfortunately, the result is what the result was. Did
Mm.
we miss chances? Yes. Should we have done better? Yes. But fundamentally, we didn't, and we are where we are. But it's not. We're not miles away. And as you say, lots of games to go.
There are a hell of a lot of games to go, my friend. I'll tell you what was very entertaining though. Chris Hare, the mind boggler. Now, I'll tell you what.
God.
I don't know if you've heard of the mind boggler, but he knocks about Edgar Street. I think he's outside Radford's bar a lot. First time we met him actually at the Leamington game, and he
Mhm.
was the most incredible person I've ever met.
Yeah.
He gave him 20 celebrities' date of birth. That's all the information we gave him, and he could guess the celebrity from the date of birth you give him. We gave him the most niche people, and he knew each person. I don't know how he does it, but if you're going to the game this Saturday, do see him. He will be at the game outside Radford's. Do test him, come with a load of data bursts with celebrities in mind, and he will know who you're talking about. But I was mesmerized. I was absolutely mesmerized, mate.
I mean, he calls himself the mind boggler, and my mind was well and truly boggled. He had his cards with him as well, and he was just doing stuff that, like, be pick a card, any card, and we put his cards out, and he'd know what you picked, and he's just telling you, "Oh yeah, that's the Queen of Clubs." You're like, what? But I haven't even what? I haven't even put it back in yet for you to do that weird shuffle thing, and then you can show, it can end up in my pocket. None of that. Just that's what you've got. Yeah, does
I had
boggle
to,
the mind.
mate, honestly, I was literally just washing my face when I got home and like just putting water in my eyes. I was like, did that happen? Honestly, I still can't get over what was going on. And shout out to you and your dad, by the way. Leamington is the most like weirdly located ground in the world. Like you can't get there on 5 foot.
Hmm.
We sadly missed the bus. We're getting a few photos of the London Bulls flag. And luckily your dad and you came to the rescue to drop me and Nick off at the station. So big up, thank
Hmm.
you very much. I would have been stuck in Leamington for God knows how long without you two. Thank you. And
Quite
big
all
up to
right,
the
mate.
fans. 502 fans that turned up. It looked like way more than that, to be honest.
Mm.
It looks like I thought we outnumbered the Leamington fans, to be honest.
We nearly did. Yeah, what was the attendance? 1140, and we had 502. So yeah, it was only just a few more than us.
Yeah. So and you mentioned Donoghue. Sad to see him go. I thought he was a
Mm.
real solid pair of hands. He's got a good career in the game, hasn't
Mm. Yeah, he was a solid pair of hands, apart from against Kidderminster. And then and a little bit against Leamington. But yeah, but no, he did all right. And yeah, I'm not going to hold the Kiddy performance against him because I think everyone was terrible that day. But yeah, you know, it is a shame. But we've got this obviously got the new lad in now, Theo Richardson, and let's see what he can do. He's well thought of from what I understand. So
he? Well, my friend, he was. personally recruited by Jose Mourinho for Manchester United's academy, believe it or not.
There you go.
Picked from Leeds. He didn't have a long spell there at Man United. I think he left quite soon. But you're not bad if you play for Man United. Well, I don't know these days.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I think we could probably get in at the moment, mate.
Yeah, but he looks like a solid pair of hands as well. To be honest, I think he's come from Filed. Paul Caddis's contacts up there. Chapman's obviously gone to Spalding. I think we've done well to get a fee, to be honest. Tallest keeper in the country. I was surprised. I was a bit sad it didn't work out. He looked so like intimidating in the golf range. You know what I mean? The guy was like 7'9", however tall he is. But yeah, we got a new player in for our upcoming game against Warrington, which hopefully will go ahead. I mean, the temperatures aren't particularly great, are they?
No, no. Obviously, got the covers on the pitch already. So we will see at 9 o'clock on Saturday when they take them off. But yeah, I hope it's on. Obviously, 1 o'clock kickoff. Due to the ongoing floodlight situation that's happening at the club, which is not ideal. Look, I'm sure that people have done everything they can. It just feels a little bit like someone dropped the ball somewhere, whether it was the club, whether it was the construction company. I'm not blaming anybody, but someone, because it's a long time since those floodlights were delivered and were supposed to, obviously were supposed to have gone up. So I don't know if it just took that long to get new quotes, because I know that is what they were doing at one point, was they had to get a quote to get it done again or get that particular problem sorted. But it's been so long, they've left it far too long, and now we've got problems, you
Mm.
know. And obviously Kiddy had to be 1 o'clock, Warrington's gonna have to be 1 o'clock, and who knows, Southport might have to be 1 o'clock as well if it's not done by the end of next week. So it's a bit worrying, really. It's a bit tin pot, and I don't like it.
Yeah. It sounds weird, but I was looking at some comments on social media, and when the kiddie game has moved forward, a lot of kids were able to go to the game because of that. So it seemed like there were a lot of fans that were like, "Oh, because it's a bit earlier, like I think I can go now." And I don't know. I think it actually works out better for a lot of people. Maybe that might get us more people through the gate. This Saturday, you don't know because they're able to go. It's lighter. It's not as dark when it finishes. So
Mm,
I don't know. Maybe that's a potential benefit. Obviously, it does feel a bit tin pot moving it forward. And thank you to Warrington as well. I mean, they're
mm.
coming from far. They're not very close by, are they? But yeah, I don't know. That was something I saw come up. That could be a potential positive. Young fans coming through. You fans of the future.
Yeah, I'll bring a downer on it. I think that's lovely, but then you've got the flip side of the adults who work, because a lot
Yeah,
of people work till lunchtime on a Saturday and then go to the game. So if you work
yeah,
till one
yeah,
o'clock, you're stuffed. So, I don't, yeah, I agree. I think that I can see what you're saying about
yeah,
that. That's good. But equally, yeah, it's it's not great for those who have to work, or,
yeah.
those who have got things on before the Southport game. But anyway, we'll get to that. So,
I mean, one fan we hope to see there actually is Luke Littler. I mean, he's a Warrington fan. He actually was at the reverse fixture. I know he met a few of the fans. They
he
got
was.
photos with him, but hopefully he's able to come down to Anchor Street after his insane win last week.
Yeah. Well, he's certainly got the money now to travel down in style, hasn't he? So you never know. Depends
Yeah,
when if he's got any tournaments on. But Warrington, look, let's get to the game. They're 19th in the league.
yeah,
Um, what are they? 13 points behind us, so a little bit behind us. Goal difference of -13. So they're a leaky team.
yeah.
And we have scored goals. I know we've only scored one in the last three, which is not ideal. But how do you see it going in terms of are we going to bounce back? Is this going to be a bit more positive, or is it going to be same old if it's on?
4-0 win, my friend, hands down. 4-0 win. Their top scorer, Connor Woods, on 6 goals. He is on the radar of a few clubs. They've turned a few bids down for him. So I'm hoping he won't be there by the time the game comes. I'm hoping he's bought and then he's left by then. But
What in the next day?
yeah, I mean, I think we tend to bounce back after a few crap results, don't we? So I'm hoping we'll unleash our Warrington. I'm hoping So I'm actually going for a comfortable win. I thought I'm going to win, I think. How about you?
Okay, that's interesting. No, I don't think I'd go with that. I think they make it hard for us, but I think we'll win. I
Yeah,
do think it'll end up being comfortable. I think it'll probably be a reverse of the away game. I think it'll be 2-0 to us.
yeah,
Um, they have conceded a few goals. They've only scored one in the last three as well. They lost to Kings Lynn on Saturday. They lost to Marine on New Year's Day and Southport on Boxing Day, both 2-0. And they've been poor in those games as well, from what I've seen of the highlights in looking at this. And yeah, it's we've got to take advantage. We've said this before. We've got to take advantage of these sides that aren't playing very well, that aren't doing very well, you know, and just get ourselves back on track. We've got to not. I think, unfortunately, we've got to not worry about where we are in the league. It's such a tight league. We've just got to get on and win our games. We've got to just do our bit, and it'll work out. If we start thinking about being in the playoffs, not so much as fans, we can do that, but the players, the management, the club themselves, worrying too much about promotion and what that will mean financially. If we go up, we go up. They've got to deal with it. And there has been a lot of worry about whether we can afford to do it or whether there's any point. But we need to. We can't worry about that. And I think we've been getting ahead of ourselves. Everybody has been getting ahead of ourselves and going, oh well, we should. We're going to go up. We're going to win the league. Someone said it earlier. It just we got to just got to chill out a little bit. That's my view. But be positive.
no, I totally agree with you. You got to take it one game at a time. Do you know what I mean? Um, I think we were really unlucky not to get anything out of the reverse fixture.
Mm,
Um, this was the game we lost 2-0, as you said, and we actually lost to 10 men. Sammy Robinson got sent off, but we were really unlucky not to win the amount of chances we had with 10 men.
mm,
So that's why I have a lot of confidence for this home game. If
mm.
Sammy Robinson can stay on the pitch and he
But
keeps.
does that? Well, yeah, that would help. But does that worry? Does that worry you though that we haven't necessarily taken our chances uh, in quite a few games this season? Really.
Yeah, I mean, how often can we keep being unlucky? Do you know what I mean? We keep talking about these marginal differences, but ultimately it's the end result at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? Um, yeah, you got to take your chances. I think, even against Leamington, Jason Cowley just seemed a bit off.
Hmm.
And Williams seemed a bit off. I don't know. They seemed a bit tired. And maybe that is normal at this point of the season, busy time, Christmas and all that.
Mm.
Hopefully, we've had a bit of time with that game being postponed now. Hopefully, Caddis has got a couple of training sessions in. We do forget to mention this. Well, we have talked about this. The luxury of having a training session.
Hmm.
Yeah, do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
there are some weeks we've literally had nothing. I think
Hmm.
Caddis said the next time I'm going to see the players after Scunthorpe is the Kiddy game. After that, I'm going
Hmm.
to see them at Star Shields. I don't even know when he's got training session in.
Yeah.
Um, Hopefully he's
Yeah.
got some time within now, and we can really plan for Warrington and get the 3 points.
Yeah.
Big game after Warrington is the home game against Southport.
Mm.
Um, we had a really good result up there early in the season at Hague Avenue. But how will we fare when they come down to Baker Street?
Yeah. Again, bit of a they've won one, lost one, drawn one in the last three. It's impossible to sort of say. They lost against Southend, to be fair, on the weekend, but in the FA Trophy. But yeah, I think we could take advantage of them. Obviously, it'd be interesting to see how they get on this weekend. Um, but I think it's a different team to when we played them up there. But in both ways, them and us, I think we were all guns blazing, all firing, so to speak, at the time. And yeah, I think you obviously want a positive result, but I think it's going to be a little bit more difficult. Depends how we get on this weekend. Again, it's that thing. If we can just be a bit more positive and you know, we've got two games at home that should be winnable. You know, and well, I think obviously we've got to win them if we are gonna hit the playoffs. But it's yeah, as I say, it's just really important that we get those training sessions in, which is going to be difficult even on 4G pitches because of the weather. And yeah, I just hope that I hope that it's 3 o'clock, to be honest, and I I hope that that everything's sort of working and doing all right.
Yeah, I think we'll have them, mate. To be honest with you, they've actually got quite an old squad. A lot of their squad are over 30, and we're quite a quick team, so I think we will have them. I think that's why we demolished them up there, and I can see this same happening again.
Mm,
As you said, hope it is a 3 p.m. kickoff. Um, but we can't be complacent against Southport. We've not got the best of records against them. They've done us
mm,
over 1-0 at home last season. They are a bit of a bogey side for us. I feel like everyone in this league is a bogey side for us. Um, but we'll take a lot of confidence from that result. And obviously they've got the second worst away record in the league. So
oh,
it's serve us well, If it is moved to 1 p.m, that might help us because they have further to travel. They have to get there earlier,
yeah,
set the alarms
yeah.
on.
So do all our players because they all live up there. Um,
I'll be honest with you, mate. I'll be disappointed if we don't get 12. I'll be disappointed if we don't get 12 points in January. I'm putting it out there. Controversial. I think every game in January we should be winning.
wow.
We should.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I'm putting it out there.
that's
I'm putting it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you know what? I agree with you because obviously we've got Radcliffe and then Peterborough Sports, but like, yeah, yeah, you are right, but that ain't going to happen. So where are the points going to be dropped, Katie? That's the question.
No, but
Is it going to
honestly,
be
yeah,
against Southport? And you're saying no.
there is no in our last pod we'd be happy with a point at Scunthorpe Kiddy. But every game I'm like, we need to be winning this. These are winnable games, but we just seem to bottle it against the teams in the lower end of the division, don't we? But do better against the teams in the top end.
Yes,
But yeah,
yes, we
I
do.
mean, I think I think we'll do well at home. I think at home our home form's getting better. It's just the game against Radcliffe. I think I'm worried about. We had a bit of
Mm,
a nuts game, didn't we, with them at Edgar Street, that 3-3 game.
mm,
New ground we haven't been up there, but it seems like that kind of maybe same Leamington style ground where it might not be the best of pitches. It'll be cold up there in
mm,
Manchester. So yeah, that'll be a tough gig up in Radcliffe, I think. And I think they beat Chorley on Boxing Day as well when fasting. So they're on a bit of form at the moment, even though they're on the wrong end of the table.
mm.
What are you thinking about Radcliffe, mate?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's going to be away. It's going to be tough up there. They'll make it hard for us. Is it still Johnson and Morley in charge? Yeah, they know the league. They know what they're doing. I think that's probably where the three all came in earlier in the season, really. Um, it is going to be. I think it'll be a much tougher game than 21st is where they are. I think it'll be a much more difficult game than that. As they proved last time, but it's gonna be a hard one up there. But as you point out, it's a game we should win. Of course it is. Of course it is. Um, but it's one of those where if we come out of it with a draw, then it's not the worst result in the world, but we should be doing better against teams like that. Absolutely.
If you were offered a point now, would you take it for Radcliffe
Yeah.
away?
Yeah, would you?
You take, ooh, interesting. Our standards have dropped, my friend. A point against Radcliffe. I can't believe. No, I think about it. On paper we should be beating them, but in reality, it's a different story, isn't it? Um, Interesting thing about Radcliffe is the kind of players that have played for him. I don't know if you know this, but Paul Gascoigne played for Radcliffe. Craig
Do you
Dawson
indeed?
and Lee Sharp and Jan Carrican, who played for Reading,
Wow.
and Paul Mullin. Not the Wrexham one, but the other one.
Oh.
There's another Paul Mullin. Um, but their top scorer is Brad Rasko, who is a defender with 6 goals.
Oh,
So
that
you can tell it's probably going to be quite a physical game. They'll do well at tackling.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Is that
so
going to suit us though? If you think about Kiddy on Boxing Day, where they were quite physical, really.
yeah, we need to make
It's
sure we don't away silly fouls, right? I mean, keep our heads on. Um,
get on the weights.
get on the weights, my friend. Yes, want to see Tate Campbell on the weights. Bay Boss, all them lot. Yeah, so really, really tough games coming up. And obviously, as a London Bulls event, we will be doing Peterborough Sports away, end of January, the 28th.
Very
Not
exciting.
London to get to. Please do join us if you are in London. It's actually about an hour. There are the super quick 40-minute trains you can get from King's Cross up to Peterborough, but it is a bit of a walk actually. I think it's about 25, 30-minute walk. But just call an Uber. I mean, that'll solve the issue on that. Oh, or just jump in a cab if you're
Do they
able.
have Uber up there? I
I
mean,
don't, I
it's
don't know.
Peterborough, mate. It's a bit backwards, isn't it?
I don't know, but that'll be a nice event, when it? Even getting everyone together. It's one of our closer games.
Mhm.
Sad to say, isn't it? Like an hour away is one of our closer games, but
Yeah.
I have to make do for that for now.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
hopefully we can get a few from the Christmas party attend that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. Obviously, we talked about it at the Christmas party anyway, and that we were planning to do something. But yeah, hopefully we can get a few there to support Hereford. I think we're going to need it. It's going to be a tough Tuesday night game, but yeah, look, well, you were saying about getting 12 points. I because I'll take the points at, at Radcliffe. I'm happy with 10.
Okay. So you
Mhm.
think we'll beat Peterborough?
Yeah,
Nice. We did
yeah.
well up there last season. I think we won 4-1, I think, off the top of my head. Um, so I feel confident. Like we proved ourselves up there before.
Yeah, be
And just
safe.
speaking of kind of more local games, like we've got that Needham Market game
Mm.
rescheduled. We'll have Kings Lynn, I think, shortly after that.
So the Tuesday is the Needham game on the 11th, and then the 15th on the Saturday is Kings Lynn away as well.
So that is a good opportunity for some London Bulls to get down to some games if you are able to. Or, if you're going to the game and you don't have to be from London, you're more than welcome to meet us for a beer. We're a friendly bunch. There's quite a few of us
Absolutely.
that meet up, which is really cool. So nice to have that little community at these games
Mhm.
now. But yeah, that's it on the London Bulls front. We'll be announcing a few more things over the coming months. But do you want to talk about a special something next week, my friend?
Yes. Well, the end of next week, we've got a special guest. We've got a
We do.
special guest. Yeah, we have got a special guest. Um, a little probably very unknown to a lot of our fans actually. But it is very exciting that we've got Rob Purdie on. Ooh, Purdie, Purdie, ooh, Purdie, Purdie. Mate, I'm buzzing.
What a man. He's the reason I fell in love with the club, to be honest. The first ever player I saw on Sky Sports when he scored a penalty against Morecambe, playoff semi final,
Mhm.
that got me addicted to this wonderful football club that we have. For me, he always feels like that kind of Gerrard to Liverpool, Lampard to Chelsea kind of player for us. Um, I've always had that feeling with him, and he's got so many stories. I mean, he's got 3 spells with the club.
Four,
Um,
four
Four
spells.
spells even, sorry. And, we could probably chat to him for 4 hours, I reckon. Um,
Yeah, it's gonna be a problem.
we're going to have to meet him very, very early, I think. But,
Yeah,
this is a chance for you to ask questions as well. If you have
absolutely.
a question for this Hereford legend, send us over an email at londonwalls1924@gmail.com or comment below on anything you'd like to ask. But
Hmm.
yeah, I'm really, really excited for this. This is going to be very good indeed.
Yeah, got to think of some questions ourselves, mate. I mean, where do you even start? Obviously, got to talk about Wembley. Got to talk about the playoff final. Got to talk about, he was here at the end of the club, and yeah, let's. I'm just yeah, I can't wait for it. But yes, you've got to the end of next week to get those questions in of
Yes,
Rob
please do.
Purdy.
And hopefully we'll have some more guests over the coming year too. Hopefully we can get Andy Farrell and Richard Rose. We're still planning to get him on at some point.
Yeah,
I,
absolutely.
I really
Yeah.
appreciate a lot of people were tagging him in the comments. You must have woken up and be like, what the hell's going on? Um, Richard, we still want you, my friend. Please come on the pod if you do see this. Really enjoyed this, mate. Really nice to come back together for the new
Mhm.
year. Really
Mhm.
excited. We hope to still keep this format of every 2 weeks and, getting in special guests where we can. So thank you for all your support.
Yeah.
And we'll see you all very soon.
Yeah. Cheers, guys. Bye bye.